I generally define Islamist groups as those that believe that Islam and Islamic law should play a central role in public life. And that's a broad enough definition to encompass a wide variety of groups. And then you can kind of dive into more specifics under that broader category. And then we can talk about Salafis, Salafi jihadists, and so on. Salafis are often referred to as ultra-conservatives, which is fair. They are at least more literalist than most Muslims in their interpretation of the Quran and the sayings and deeds of Prophet Muhammad. And they tend to just have a stricter interpretation of Islamic law and less room for, let's say, allegory or kind of creative reasoning, and they try to stick to the letter of the law, at least in theory. So those are Salafis. And Salafis are also, I think, characterized by how they view sovereignty. So they tend to believe in a kind of absolute sense of divine sovereignty, which is why many of them are skeptical of parliaments and electoral processes, because they don't believe parliaments should be as involved in passing legislation, because that infringes on God's role as the sole lawgiver. So that's one of the key divides between ultra-conservative Salafi types and then more mainstream Islamists like the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt or the AK Party in Turkey or in Nahda in Tunisia. So I often will make a distinction between mainstream Islamists and more kind of extremist Islamists. And obviously there's a spectrum in between, and that's where the jihadists come in, who are the true extremists on the far right, or in the case of ISIS, the far, far right. And those are groups that very much believe in jihad, that jihad is not just an optional thing, but it's incumbent upon all Muslims. At a time when Muslims are facing various challenges from the West, jihadists would argue that Muslims have to fight not just against the West, but also against kind of apostate regimes that don't implement Islamic law correctly.